It has been an indeterminate amount of time since Roger Wilco rocketed away from Vohal's burning space fortress. Time stands still for our hero in suspended animation. Its engines long spent, the small escape pod drifts aimlessly through unfamiliar starfields, its course altered many times by small asteroids and space debris. Inside, Roger lies undisturbed in his sleep chamber. But not for long. The pod, considered to be nothing more than another piece of scrap, is taken aboard a robot-commanded garbage freighter. Unfortunately, these robots have no regard for organics. The small pod is jarred by a sudden shock, which triggers the sleep chamber's revive mode. As the glass shroud slides back, Roger slowly begins to regain consciousness.
Where am I?
Various types of abandoned spacecraft litter the floor of this intergalactic junkyard. All this place needs is a junkyard dog. You shiver at the thought. It's obvious that the metal was sharper than you. The resulting laceration turns you into a living fountain, at least for a few moments. Unfortunately for you, this show was your finale. Good luck in the afterlife. A closer look at the object on the floor reveals that it is a warp motivator. It looks a bit more high-tech than the other junk strewn around this locale. Sturdily constructed, its only protrusion is a modular plug near its base. Wow, an ancient model of a battlebot. I bet you'd hate to run into whatever brought this big guy down. It looks like something poked it in the eye. It's a cute little thing. You've never seen anything like it in these parts. But then, where are these parts? Some writing on the exterior reads, "For a good time, don't call Hal." It's a sleek-looking number if you can disregard the junk it's rooted in. It must be a recent addition to the collection, as everything seems to be intact. Etched on the side is the name Aluminum Mallard. On top is a small hatch. There is no ladder close enough to climb. They look like remnants of an orbital space station, or perhaps some type of toys for an oversized child. Forget it, they're buried too deeply. Besides, you're too old to be playing with toys. Or at least you should be. You peer up and down the conveyor shaft. The view down is obstructed by the tight fit of the conveyor. The view up shows it to lead to a horizontal conveyor above. Shredded like an Iran-Contra document, your many independent parts flutter to the bottom of the hopper. This is of little importance to you, what with your being dead and all. In this room, the rail makes a U-turn. There is a chute at the bottom. In the middle are panels of monitoring devices being tended to by a droid. A grabber hangs beneath a rail. There is a seat for a driver. There is a claw underneath that looks capable of grabbing things. Senses contact with the warp motivator, grasps it firmly, and begins the ascent back to the grabber. Sensing an adequate surface, the claw releases its cargo and begins the ascent to the grabber unit. Some brittle-looking wire runs from lamp to lamp, then disappears into a hole to the left. You can hear something scurrying around above you. You can't actually see the rats because they're hidden in the shadows. A tiny reactor which seems to be providing power for the lights. You peer into the small opening and notice a tiny This is a ladder. The evenly spaced rungs allow altitude adjustment. You seem to have been mugged by some type of large rat. As you pick loose fur from your teeth, you notice a less bulky feeling. You peer in. You grab the ladder and jam it in your pocket. Ouch. You move into position and, grabbing the dull finish of the hatch's handle, commence to open and enter the ship. You look into the cavity and notice only 2 cable ends. Someone has made off with the ship's power supply. You drop the reactor into the hole. In attempting to reconnect the cables, you find that one is much too short. I guess length does count. You carefully connect the wire between the ship and the reactor, putting the tile back in place once you're finished. You feel a strong rumbling as the ship strains to loosen itself from the confines of the junk heap accumulated at its base. Finally, it begins to rise. The ship rises several meters, then stops abruptly. An alarm from the computer attracts your attention. When the enemy ship comes from behind, you will automatically begin tracking. Use the direction keys or mouse to move the target crosshairs onto the target. When you are locked on, use the spacebar to fire. The shot blasts a new orifice in the side of the junk freighter. Unfortunately, your inadequately protected ship is struck and subsequently destroyed in the bottleneck of metallic objects striving to pass through the same relatively small opening. You feel a strong rumbling as the ship strains to loosen itself from the confines of the junk heap accumulated at its base. Finally, it begins to rise. The ship rises several meters, then stops abruptly. An alarm from the computer attracts your attention. The shot blasts a new orifice in the side of the junk freighter. The pressure generated by the desire of the ship's atmosphere to escape to the considerably low pressure of space causes your ship to spit out like a watermelon seed. With a mighty whump, you set the aluminum mallard down on the surface of Fleabot.